Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. I want to talk about a new dating relationship term today called Caspering. And let me know what you think about this. Is it a better way to end the relationship? Maybe even how do you tend to end relationships with a Filipina or with whomever else? I'll give a couple quick personal examples. This comes from psychologytoday.com. Author Jordan Travers. And please subscribe here. I got lots of videos and playlists. Check out my affiliate link here on Love Beyond the Sea. So why caspering is better than ghosting, a romantic failure. Caspering, what is that? It's the latest addition to the urban dating lexicon, is the polite cousin of ghosting. Named after Casper, the friendly pop culture ghost, caspering refers to a gradual weaning of communication with a potential romantic interest instead of an abrupt disappearing act to minimize emotional damage. That's the reason. In a culture of fleeting connections and casual encounters, caspering might offer respite from the harshness of ghosting. Have you ever been ghosted? Do you know what that feels like? It emphasizes the importance of acknowledging the powerful emotions involved in dating and seeks to maintain the dignity and self-respect of both parties. Caspering is an attempt to leave both parties feeling respected, understood, and capable of moving on from an unrealized romance with their emotional well-being intact. Here, and then they're going to go into some reasons why caspering could contribute to a more respectful modern dating culture. And I still generally feel like it's best to just be open and honest. Don't be afraid to say something. It just never makes it better in the end. I had one woman years and years ago, believe me, many years ago, was interested in me, and I mean, they really liked me, and I was just trying to be a friend, be friendly. And then one day they asked, hey, I think they called me on the phone. So it's easier to say what I had to say over the phone, but they said, do we have any future together? And I didn't beat around the bush. I said, no, I don't think so. I mean, I just don't see you that way. I probably said I'm not really attracted to you that way. So I would say no. And that was it. I had to say something because they were really, getting to a point where if we just went for a walk somewhere, just as so-called friends, which I don't even think men and women can be friends, we never held hands or anything like that, but just the fact that I was there gave her something that was very important to her and that she liked, just the company of another guy. I don't know. I'm sure there were things going on in her mind that wasn't going on in mine, so I just was very frank and said, no, I don't think so. I probably, was with her, longer than I should have. Let's talk about one reason, communication versus silence. One of the most significant distinctions between caspering and ghosting lies in communicating one's intentions. Ghosting involves a sudden and complete cut off of contact, leaving the other person in the dark. This can be emotionally distressing, yes, leading to feelings of confusion, rejection, and humiliation. Furthermore, research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships suggests that ghosting threatens individuals' core psychological needs, including one's sense of belonging, self-esteem, and control. But in contrast, caspering is characterized by a gradual reduction in contact. The approach values the importance of closure, enabling both parties to openly communicate their feelings and intentions. That sounds good. A commitment to communication can reintroduce empathy in the dating process, recognizing that all individuals involved have emotions and deserve to be treated with kindness and consideration. Absolutely. So not only does communication benefit the person being dumped, it also equips the dumper with the courage and vocabulary to have difficult conversations at their own pace. Most people resort to ghosting in an attempt to avoid the talk. Caspering allows for a window of time where one can express their desire to part ways in a measured and phased manner. And number two, they mentioned death with dignity. Closure is a critical component of any dating experience. And so I don't want to run out of time here, but I did want to mention this death with dignity. I mean, I had my very first relationship, I could tell when it was over. We never really had the talk, but, and I don't even know if it would be considered caspering way back when, but I could just tell her feelings had changed, the mood had changed, the vibe had changed. I would be over there, and it was like all the spirit of the relationship we had going was just seeping away, air out of the balloon. And I could tell eventually, you know, look, somebody's going to have to just acknowledge that we're not the same anymore. And it sucked. It wasn't easy, but it was a lot better than if it was a ghosting situation where they just didn't return my calls and I'd wondering what's going on. That measure that we took, whatever it was, at least allowed me to process it. But when you ghost somebody, they can't process anything. So I think the caspering is good because, you know, you probably involve some communication, like, look, you know, this isn't really, we can both probably see this isn't going where we want it to, and I still like you as a friend. I'm not going to be your enemy or anything like that, but I just don't think, you know, this relationship has what it takes to last. And talking about it versus, you know, just ripping the Band-Aid off. So those are just some couple of personal experiences. Leave comments here on Love Beyond the Sea. Caspering permits an honest conversation about the reasons why the relationship didn't work, providing an opportunity for personal growth and self-improvement. This open dialogue often results in an amicable separation, potentially leaving room for future connections or friendships. So if you're online with a woman from the Philippines, like I was before I met my wife, you know, consider this. Even though they may be thousands of miles away, you know, they still have feelings and they still have hopes for a relationship. And sometimes one person is more into it than the other. So consider this, you know, and having to let them down. So the key points from this video: caspering is a polite type of ghosting, refers to the gradual weaning of communication in a failed relationship or one that isn't going anywhere. It may offer a way to maintain the dignity and self-respect of both parties. That's, I think, what you want. And caspering can provide a sense of closure that may help people heal. So if you have a relationship online with a Filipina, and if it doesn't go well and you don't end it the right way, you might feel bad enough that you just don't want to do that again with somebody else. So learn how to break up properly, because you're probably going to have to keep sorting through more options until you can find love beyond the sea.